Hello everyone, this video is about skill chaining and combos. Skill chaining is simply pressing one ability after the other to queue up skills during their cast. Speeds up the combos for every class and gives you more opportunities for damage. To start off, there are three different types of targeting that need to be mentioned. In options, scrolling down to combat and movement, you will find skill targeting with a drop down menu. The three targeting types are normal by default, fast with range indicator, and instant. Normal requires double the inputs to place the skills, as you need to press the button twice, or press the button once and mouse button after. I recommend learning to switch off this, but it is possible to find success using it. Fast with range indicator is what I personally like, and the way it works is by pressing a button, it shows where it will land, and releasing it will cast the skill. To cancel the skill, all that is needed is to right click while holding it. This means that I can press every button in order to get a skill chain easily. Instant cast is an even faster option, but requires you to know the ranges of skills and track your mouse well. It works by casting the skill on button press, meaning you can no longer hold the button to aim. One benefit of instant cast is that certain skills can be moved during the cast, where you press the button on the left and move your mouse to the right during the cast to make it cast on the right. Not every skill works like this, and some even cast where your mouse is in the middle of the cast time instead. Now that targeting is out of the way, one thing you'll want to find is what skills have a cast time. When hovering over a skill, that it has a description of what it does, and at the top right it'll have one or two numbers. If it only has one number, that is the cooldown, and it has no cast time. If it has two numbers, the one on the left is the cast time and cooldown is on the right. Skills with no cast time are important because they can be cast during another skill's cast time. A common example of this is Dragon Hunter traps. Test of Faith has no cast time, so using it second will allow you to drop bolt drops faster and at the same time. Next is how to cancel a skill that is already casting. There are three common ways to cancel a skill, and some skills have special properties for other ways to cancel. The three common ways are weapon stow keybind, dodging, and weapon swapping. All three will consistently cancel any skill cast, so it's important to keep in mind in case you need to cancel a skill or you don't want to accidentally cancel it. Another way to cancel is certain skills that keep you in place for the cast, such as Meteor Shower on Elementalist or Empower on Guardian, can be cancelled by simply moving. It's important to finish these casts normally, but you need to keep in mind that you don't want to get left behind during the cast, so beware your positioning to avoid having to cancel them. The last way to cancel a skill is by using another one with higher priority. There isn't a list of every skill's priority, but generally speaking, ground target AoEs such as Guardian symbols get cancelled by movement skills, such as Dragon Hunter F2. Quickness is the most important boon for skill chaining since it allows you to chain skills very quickly. 50% lower cast time will save you whole seconds in combos and allow you to use more important skills during a hit. The opposite happens from the condition slow, which slows your cast times by 50%. Quickness overrides slow, which means that quickness will always let you cast faster until it gets removed. It's important to know why your combo gets slowed down a lot due to not having quickness or being slowed. Now for the main point of skill chaining, which is combos. Every class has certain combos that work with either weapons, utility skills, or profession skills. Clicking your skills will slow down the combo significantly, and finding a keybind setup that lets you use all skills is very important for skill chaining combos. I'll be using Necro as an example, as they have multiple combos for every part of their kit. One combo for Necro is weapon skills, where you press your 3, you swap weapons, and then you press your 3 again. There's a quick burst of boon strip on the enemy, but it's important because it has a weapon swap in the middle of it. As mentioned earlier, weapon swap will cancel a cast, so with this combo you need to finish casting 3 ability before pressing weapon swap. Another combo is F1, F2, and F3. The first one places a shade while the other two cast instantly. Because the other two cast instantly, you can simply press all buttons in order and they will get all of the skills used together instantly. The next combo is Well, so it's important to use Well of Corruption first, as it has longer cooldown and strips boons, followed by Well of Suffering for damage. Both skills have a cast time and don't get interrupted during the cast, so you can simply press the buttons in order and they will cast correctly and quickly. The last combo is with their elite skill Ghastly Breach and utility skill Trail of Anguish. The important thing about these skills is that they're cast where the necro is standing, which means it's best used when the enemy pushes into you. Trail has no cast time, so casting Breach first makes them cast at the same time. Now that the 4 combos have been explained for Necro, its next is to figure out a priority. There are common callouts for commanders such as Spike, Shades, Wells, and Breach. Because these calls are for Necro, it's much easier to tell what skill to prioritize for Necro. On a Spike call, you should be committing skill cooldowns that are below 15 seconds, such as Shades or weapon skills for Necro. Deciding which of the two to prioritize depends on skill range. Shorter range skills are more important if the enemy is running away, as you want to still be able to hit them with the short range skills. The important part that happens with Shade Call is being ready to drop Wells when the call comes, because the highest priority now becomes Wells as soon as it's called, regardless of what you're currently casting. You can continue with other skills afterwards, but the first thing you need to do is drop your Wells. Breach is either called or more easily recognized by the Necro, as when the enemy pushes onto you, you need to use it. This is similar to Wells, where it becomes the highest priority when the enemy pushes in, because it's so short range and landing it makes a large difference. All these combos are short, but each have certain situations that they need to be used. Weapon skills and shade skills are low cooldown, so they should be used whenever there's damage calls for small boon rip. Wells should be saved for commander call and always dropped as fast as possible where the enemy is moving to. Breach should be when the enemy runs into you and you're standing at the highest priority. The sooner it's used, the better, as it allows you to move away faster. Skill chaining the combos for classes will allow you to get more abilities out in a short amount of time. Knowing combos and when to use them will allow you to spend less time worrying about what button to press and more time about positioning your skills to land easily. Knowing a priority will help determine which combos to use and help you with spending less time looking for which skill to use and more time moving with the tag. Being able to chain these combos together is going to make a huge difference in your play, as it allows more skills to be cast in a shorter amount of time.